All right. Okay, welcome to another episode of Evanston Magazine's online expo. Here we have my man Terrell. He is a fraternity brother of mine, and he is killing it on the social media scene out here. Man, I love what you're doing, my brother. How you doing today, first of all?
I'm good, man. I appreciate being on your show, man. I admire what you do also. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? It's a pleasure
man,
knowing you, all of that.
you know what it is, man. Try to lead the community towards positive and good, no matter
Yeah,
how we get to do it. Captain's
exactly.
lead. So,
Exactly.
what brought me to want to talk to you, man, is I've been over the few years or whatever you've been doing it, especially on TikTok. I've been able to watch you post these videos, especially coming from the angle that you are. According to what I see, you're a policeman. I think it's Markham, right?
Yes, sir.
Markham
Yep.
police officer.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, and obviously, you go on a lot of calls that have to do with young black men
Yeah.
creating havoc in the neighborhood. And so your angle has always been, from what I've seen, building a relationship with your father and or a positive man in your life. And I think you see that as somewhat of a deficit in these young men's lives. Tell us a little bit more about your angle, what you're trying to do with that.
Okay. I think you pretty much hit it on the head, man. Just a little backstory. Um, I grew up, my father was in and out of my life. It was one of those type of things or whatever. And it was always like this void. I could never place my finger on it. You know what I'm saying? I could never place my finger on it, but I kind of knew. And as I got older, I had my own boys and see how they look up to me and how they admire everything I do and they hang on every word that I say. Um, I can tell him, he can look at the sky and I can tell him, no, that's really purple. He's going to believe his dad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then you add the police element to it. When I go on these calls, and it's a lot of great dads out there, and I'm not into blaming anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of these calls I go, and especially when it deals with the juveniles, and the little girls need it just as bad. But when it comes to the juvenile boys, a lot of them are out of control, man. You know what I'm saying? And the mothers are doing the best they can,
Yeah.
And I believe personally, 'cause I'm a history guy too. I read a lot of books on, our history and how we got to where we are now. So I understand the plight that we to get here. But I believe that the men are the infrastructure, man, of the communities, of the neighborhood. I mean, I'm sorry, of the households, of the churches, of business, everything. And once that's taken away, it's a reason. It's just not a coincidence to me that our prisons look the way they look.
Right.
It's a reason. If you're trying to go after a gang, if you're trying to take down a gang or a drug cartel, you're trying to go after the head. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You're trying to go after the head. And so I just believe that I need to make it known. I'm a police officer. I'm a black police officer, and I'm a father, and I have sons. So I care about it. That's what I tell these kids out there, man. Dude, I care. Like I genuinely care, man. It's like I don't want to see you. You're clueless right now. You know what I'm saying? But I care, and I'm gonna show you that I care. And so that's kind of the angle of the whole thing, man. And it's been doing pretty well, man. A lot of people have, acknowledged how it has impacted them
Yeah.
and have reached out for some advice for mentorship and things like that. And Kappa League, I just got back involved with Kappa League,
Okay.
so
That's
I
awesome.
can I can
Yeah.
combine it too. So yeah.
Okay. Just for those who listening, Kappa League is a branch of Kappa Alpha Psi that deals with mentoring young men. Okay. Well, you brought up quite a few really cool little angles there, man. Do you have, not using names, but do you have a specific example of how you came into a circumstance and you saw, almost like you took the crimson goggles off and saw how affected a young man was, where a father in his life would have brought him down a different path. Just, an example that you can give us that'll keep.
Too many to name. I know there's like some feedback coming. Do you
Yeah.
hear that too? Okay. Um,
You know what? That might be my light over here. Let's see. Is it heavy on? Is it a voice feedback?
It's like when I speak, I hear like something in the
An
background.
echo?
Yeah, like an echo.
That might be your phone. Do you
That's me?
have more than one source on
No.
that has audio to it?
Nah.
Do you hear it right now?
Yeah.
You still hear it?
Yeah, but I can go through it. I'm cool.
Okay. Well,
All
I'm
right,
not
cool.
getting it on my side, any
Okay.
feedback. But what that usually is you got two sources playing the audio and they clash in the
Okay.
metaverse or whatever.
All right.
My cell phone's not on in any way. So let me see.
No, so I'm good. I'm good. I can. It's no big deal. But to answer your question, yeah, it's plenty. I remember one. I mean, we have kids, man, that 11 years old, 12 years old,
Yeah.
just out there just bugging, man, stealing cars and things like that. And then their mannerisms, they can't control their emotions, and
Right.
so, I'll go to a call or something like that, and a teenager has destroyed the house,
Mm.
or he's cussing his mom out or his grandmother out or whatever. And the first question I always ask, it never fails, and it's even like a running joke at my job. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, where's your father? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, because I believe if your father was here, you wouldn't act like this. And sometimes it triggers them
Yeah.
to where they get even more upset.
The
Man,
little kids will get
yeah,
triggered, so they'll
yeah,
flip even
yeah, yeah,
harder.
yeah. It,
Okay.
it gets them even more upset. I don't know where he's at, man. F him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I don't need him. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm my own man and things like that. So
Yeah. But
a
he
lot of times
11 years old.
11 years old, man, 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? Coming in at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then the mothers, you know, they try their best, bro. They're working,
Yeah.
going to school. They got other kids to take care of.
Right.
Sometimes they've had it up to here with them, and they're like, look, I can't do nothing else with this.
Yeah.
And the fathers know, and a lot of times, and like I said, man, I'm not blaming anybody. You know, I'm just saying that a lot of times guys get off the hook. And there's sometimes where the mother keeps the father away for whatever reason. She might be jealous. So every situation is unique. But whoever's at fault, you're destroying these kids. You're destroying the girls as well as the boys. But I believe once you get these boys in order, the girls are going to follow. You know what I'm saying? You get some boys that the men, the infrastructure, the foundation together, the young ladies will follow. They'll follow suit.
Okay. Well, that's a way to think about it. I think I also agree with you on that. I do think that there's a little pushback on will the ladies follow or not because it's a different day and time. They don't just follow men naturally anymore based on what's being taught to our children. And I think that within that, could you have seen that that's the core of it? Because right now, versus what we had when we were growing up, kids are not indoctrinated into a system of a parental structure. Now they're more allowed to make decisions that children aren't supposed to be making from my standpoint and from a historical standpoint. Case in point, you have children like Dwayne Wade's child, who I have no battle in his sexuality, but to allow a 10, 11, 12-year old to put themselves in a position to make such a drastic choice as to have a sex change before they're 21 is a reflection on what's happening in our society because it's not in a fishbowl. That's across the board. So, for example, when you mentioned the kid is coming in the house saying, I'm my own man at 11, and there's nobody to tell him, no, you're not going your room, or there's nobody that, or the mother has, put herself in a position where she has no more authority in the house. It's also the same reflection. It's just a different decision being made. So, with what I see on your social media, and I know you got a book written also, and I'd love to talk about that in a couple, maybe a phrase or two left. But when we go to the social media part of what you're doing, you have different examples of how you have displayed a true father in the life of your son. Your son. How's that working out for you, man?
It works out pretty good, man. Like I've been blessed, I'm very active in my boy's life as far as everything, you know what I'm saying? And I'm getting
Yeah.
old, man. It's time. wearing me thin. You know
I
what I'm
saw
saying?
the couple of them that where he took you to the court. How's that? I
Yeah, man.
love it, man.
They don't know. My youngest said, "Hey, did they have basketball when you were little? Like what? Did
Right.
they have TVs when you were little? Like, come on, man. I'm not that old."
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. That's hilarious,
yeah,
man.
yeah. But you know what? You know what? No, it's a lot. A big part of my angle is not to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Not to tell you how to raise your child. It's almost like here's some tools that you can use.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Or you just have to be there. Whatever you do once you're, unless it's something that's harmful for the kid, it's toxic, you abusing them sexually or physically, something like that. That's something different.
yeah.
But
That's whole different. Whole
right,
different.
that's something completely different. But if you're there and you're active, and here's for the single moms and dads, here's some tools that I learned
Yeah.
recently that I can share with you that can help your child to go down whatever road that he or she decides to go down, you know, and you can help push them that way. Because you know, it's not just a black thing, you know.
Yeah, for
uh
sure.
it has started to impact. It's more of a poverty thing, a
Okay.
class thing now. And so I mean, but it's still a difference, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
But I speak on what I'm familiar with, and that's our communities. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I see what's happening in our communities. I work at the high school, so I deal with those kids, you know, and in the community. So I see it. I see it quite often.
That's interesting, because I have a really close friend of mine. He's not a brother of ours, but he's a black brother of ours, and he's writing a book that I think, man, is going to impact the world because it's connected to the way some of these younger people are reacting to their mothers, and it's circled around parent abuse, being abused by the child. I think a big piece of that is because the father had an impact on the child. And then this girl specifically that he is writing the book around is that Heather Mack girl, the one who went to Taiwan and killed her mother, put her in a suitcase.
Oh yeah,
Familiar with that case?
found a suitcase or something like that.
Yeah, her and
Yeah.
the boyfriend killed the mother, put her in a suitcase, tried to leave the country, thinking they weren't gonna, get caught. Well, it was what happened is my buddy was a cop in Oak Park, and he was the cop that worked with the school. So every time she get in trouble, they would send him. He had over 80 interactions with the girl, over 80 interactions with the girl. And he was the one who said, look, this girl is dangerous. She didn't look dangerous because she was like 5 foot, 5'3", little girl, cute, little mixed black, white girl in that environment. So everybody in his precinct was clowning him. Oh, you put cuffs on her, man. What, you know what I mean? They clowning him. It's a man's society. So they clown him a little bit until she went and did that murder.
Wow.
Then they got it.
Wow.
But the focus of the book is parents being abused by their child because the little girl was beating up her mother, breaking her mother's arms, not listening to her mother, similar to what you were saying this 11-year-old was doing,
Yeah.
those types of things. That's a very big subject out there right now that's kind of bubbling because discipline in the home, which is the number one purpose of a father being in the home, has been alleviated through not only policy, legal policy, but physical and social uh, means. Right nowadays, it's harder to have. I don't say it's impossible, but it's harder to have a household where the father says, "Hey, this is what goes." Even on TV, you see every chance they get, they teaching your children how to go to their mother instead of going to their father if the father say no, and go to the father if the mother say no, which brings a problem in between them. And then they also teaching from watching television and social media, they're also teaching people how to say, I don't want nobody telling me what to do. So now the household is broken. That's what makes what you're doing so fascinating to me, man, because it's one, you take a big step in opening up your life and your home to the world, and the way you do it is so it's so crafty that it gets the point across. Fantastic. Obviously, your family, your wife, your son, and you have a great. You got one son or two?
I got two.
Yeah, I was
got
about
one
to say
in college and this 6-year-old.
Right. I'm saying I was like, can't be just one because I seen a tall one, then I seen a little one. I'm like, this ain't no old video, So it's two, but the relationship is fascinating and fantastic, man. In the household, you being and then me and you know each other. We've talked, and sometimes you be sitting in the squad car and shit like that. I'm like, man, that's pretty fascinating.
Thank you.
It's just a pleasing thing to do, man. I hope you end up on one of these big talk shows or something.
That would be nice.
Yeah, right. Because I don't see nobody else doing it. Like whenever you have a cop on, the relationship between the police and especially the Black community is so strained right now because you have these people with cameras and these police who don't realize there's cameras. And the core of it is the bad cops make the good cops look bad, especially on camera. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's a whole nother subject, man. I've lost. I'm not gonna say I lost. Some of my friendships have been strained because I don't even talk about these police incidents that happen.
Yeah.
Because I see it from a different lens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
You're wrong. So I try to stay away from it because
No, I'm not trying to drag you down that
No. I don't think you are. I'm just kind of piggybacking up what you're saying. It's just I appreciate the words that you're saying, man. I really do. I'm not blowing smoke. I really appreciate it, but I do see it from a different angle, and I'm such a history guy.
Yeah.
So I understand where the anger, and I understand how we got here, and I understand that. Okay, so now that we know that, what do we do? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this. It's just like a lot of people. Some of my videos or whatever. What about the girls? Or why are you blaming the mothers? I'm never blaming anybody, but it's almost like you going to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
First thing they do is they give you a sheet of paper and they get your history. They get your medical history so they can determine how to move forward. So it's the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? I walk into a house, the boy's acting up or a little girl's acting up. I see the mother, she's, stressed out, smoking squares, whatever she's doing. Where's the father? You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he is. I'm not, he doesn't come around. Okay, so now we know where we can start.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They need somebody that it might be something mentally going on that I can't diagnose, but we know where to start. And I just think I think fatherless homes is the biggest problem in our community.
I would definitely go. Well, also you have to realize that there's fathers in the homes that are not adequately taught to be men. I ran into a situation like that the other day. My other job, Black man got 10 jobs, is I sell air conditioning and heating, furnaces, right?
Okay. Yeah, you've been doing that for a minute, right?
Yeah. Well, it's over a year. So I go to this dude's house, and the dude was smooth, really nice guy. You know what I mean? I could tell that if he and I met at a bar or somewhere, we would have a good rapport. I sat down with him, and his wife came in, and she was inappropriately domineering, basically. I don't know what was going on in their house. It ain't my business, but she was inappropriate in her approach to enter the conversation. Because me and him have been talking for like maybe 15 minutes about his home, about getting his air conditioning. She came in trying to direct the conversation in a way, and my mistake was forgetting that I was a salesman and treating this guy like we were friends, but I didn't know him. So I said to his wife, hold on, you're coming in with kind of an inappropriate negative energy here. And of course, man, she flipped on. And the reason why I brought that up is because the father was fine with what we was talking about. I think he was even fine with me telling his wife that. But she flipped out so hard that she tried to turn it on him. Oh, you gonna let him talk to me like that? I'm feeling like you don't care about me. You ain't trying to protect me. And I'm like, I'm staying out of that part of it. But I see that he doesn't really, that he's trying not to make his household fucked up for the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? And his son came in and tried to regulate. And I'm like, man, sometimes these circumstances are where we have to realize that the culture we're creating is sometimes upside down, because as men, it's harder for us to discipline correctly. You know what I mean? And so a reflection of a household that's very healthy is what our community needs more of. Absolutely. That father missing out of the household, a father that can represent an authoritarian, authoritarian status is what we need. The other thing is what's interesting. Sometimes you talk to these women and they say, "I'm not going to follow a man unless he's X, Y, and Z." But what do you have to do to get her to that point? Sometimes is more of the problem, right? It's interesting. I don't know, yeah, it's very interesting, especially at our age, because a lot of these women that went through the damage or have, and all relationships are 50-50. So you can't call a dude toxic if y'all not in there being toxic, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's a two-way street. Yeah. The ball of wax got two sides on it.
Absolutely, man. Right? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And who taught these guys to be men? Who taught them to be men? You know what I'm saying? Like, where they get their leadership from, their wisdom from. It starts early, man. It starts early. It starts early when it comes with the discipline and the leading and things like that. It starts young. You know, it's easier to teach kids than to fix broken men.
Yeah, that's a quote from
that's Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
Is that Frederick Douglass? Yeah, it's Frederick Douglass. Yeah. So and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth, man. You get them early. You get them teenagers, 20s. It's harder. You know, because now the mother then told them they're the man of the house. You know, how are you the man of the house? You don't even know what it is to be. You can barely even read. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you the man of the house?
Right. You know like, if you can read, because a lot of you can't read.
Exactly. You saw that article, man. It was like 55 Chicago schools are not reading at whatever grade level they're supposed to.
Right.
And man, it's crazy.
It is, man. It is. I don't feel like I really learned. Oh shit. We got 10 more minutes. Okay. I don't feel like I really learned to read until I got thoroughly into college. You know what I mean? I would read to get the test done, but at the level of comprehension that I needed,
all of us. Yeah. All of us. Everybody that I talk to, everybody my age.
Yeah.
98% of the people that I know, college graduates, master's degrees, trade schools, whatever the case may be, had the same issue, bro. The same issue. Right. And that's another thing that I talk about, giving these kids some tools so they can start early. So like my youngest son, man, we do root words, so he can sit here and tell you, and those things help you with reading. It helps you with spelling. It helps you with comprehension.
Right. Absolutely.
I was the same way you, man. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm reading, dude. I'm just going to put an A here. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I get it right.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I understand it. I'm going to, you can pass that on to your kids, man, or to, whoever you're mentoring and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So tell us quickly about the book, man. We about to tell us about, because you wrote a children's book
Yeah,
about
I
golf.
got two children's books. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
these two children's books, man, father and son,
yeah,
African American children books, father and son playing golf. I'm a big golf advocate. I love golf,
yeah.
so got me two children's books. Matter of fact, I got them right here. I didn't know if I was
Awesome,
gonna show
awesome.
them or not.
Yeah, man. Why wouldn't you sell your
Got the
product?
got the golf help. My dad lost his golf ball, and then help. He lost his golf ball again, and then I got the two characters here. The father right here,
Oh, you
and
got a doll made out of them.
son.
That's dope,
Yeah,
man. You merchandising that?
yeah. Oh, absolutely,
Where
man.
you selling
Absolutely,
it at?
absolutely.
You got them on Amazon?
Well, the books and everything on Amazon, my website. These are currently in the process of being shipped right now. So
Yeah.
maybe about 3 weeks I'll
Okay.
have them.
Yeah.
So I think I got this festival I'm going to Juneteenth. So I think I'm gonna sell them there. And then whatever's
Okay.
left, I'll probably put on Amazon.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope, man. Do you
yeah.
have them like a package deal? So you buy the book, you get the dolls and shit.
Yeah, all of that, man. Yeah, trying to
Man,
get
that's
like a
hot.
brand, man. Like to get a brand going.
Yeah. What is the name of the brand?
It's just the brand is just help. My dad lost his golf ball.
Okay.
That's the brand.
Okay. You
You
know, you
know,
need branding.
And right. I need it's right.
that
So it's
that's the
funny because
name of the book. You need
I was just
branding,
that's the
like
you're right.
Mattel. You know
That's
what
what
I
I
mean?
was thinking.
Yeah.
That's the brand that
Yeah.
helped. That's what I was thinking. But
That's the
I gotta find me like
product.
an attorney or something, yeah, to help me,
It's all good, man. We'll talk offline on
Okay.
that. That's another thing, black folks, boy. We got to learn how to teach each other how to do good business.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
need that. I
Yeah,
need that.
yeah.
I
So the
need that.
branding part of it is you got to create a brand, because you're gonna have a new book that ain't gonna be my dad lost his golf balls again,
Right.
again. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You got to have a new product. So under the whatever you call Black Star, like Black Star the cigars, right? He
Oh,
got
I
different
know what
types
you're
of.
talking about. Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Dufters. It's called Dufters.
Okay, well there
It's
you
called
go.
Dufters. There you go.
All
That's what I
right.
didn't know that's what you meant, but it's called Dufters.
Okay, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope. You got
yeah.
you got to sell that now. It's called
I gotta say,
Dufters. We got 3 products already, or
yeah,
5 products. These are
yeah.
those. That's the branding part of it,
Appreciate it,
man.
man.
Oh
Appreciate the
yeah.
education.
No, that's what we do. New, I
Yeah,
knew. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what's up.
But you too, man. You still doing the stand up and all of
Oh
that?
yeah, 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 yeah. I do it less now because the air conditioning and heating, man, making me so much money. I'm like, man, you know what? I love comedy, but that shit was not making me in the. I ain't had no commas in my bank account, not no two.
You got to keep
Right?
grinding, man. You got to keep
Exactly.
grinding.
So the
Yeah.
magazine, I got quite a few little things. Actually, this little list behind me. I got a table book of the comics in the Chicago area.
Okay.
I got Evanston Magazine. What else I got back there? C Stand Up, which is a comedians magazine. I've created.
Okay.
Then I got some affiliate marketing stuff like that. What else I
You
got back
doing it, man?
there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so you got to have more than one stream of income in this world,
Absolutely.
man. So that's
Absolutely.
where we at on that. So I'm very proud of you, man. When it comes to all the stuff you're doing,
Appreciate it.
we do have to sit down and hang out a little bit more. I don't know if the daddy and then took the alcohol out your life, but I'm here to bring it right back
It's
in.
there. It's there. It's there. It's there a little
With
bit.
me
It's there a little bit.
cigaring, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I'm with
Get
that,
you
man.
out, get a little bit of man time in your life. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You can't just all be father and husband, because then well,
I
y'all
got
got
you.
y'all police culture, you know what I'm saying? I know some of the cats I know, they hang around a little bit with other
Yeah.
cops or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, we want to catch you out. So are you with Chicago alumni, or you with Harvey Markham? Who you with?
Calumet City Lansing.
Oh, you okay? How's y'all
Mhm.
Kappa League doing? How many
We just
kids
had a
y'all
meeting.
got?
We just had a meeting about a week ago.
Yeah,
I have not been involved a lot because I'm coaching my son's basketball team and the
right.
schedules. That's why a lot of our meetings kept getting canceled because
Yeah,
the days that they have the meetings.
Yeah.
I'm coaching this game. And
Okay.
so I believe it's like around 10, about 10 students or whatever like that, 10 gentlemen.
Okay.
And we're trying to make it grow. So we're planning some things, trying to figure out some different things that we can mentor them in and keep them excited and keep them involved,
Yeah.
because getting teenagers on a Saturday and they don't have to go to school with some old dude,
Right.
they're like, man, what am I here
Well, if
for?
you got it, you give them some. What's up with the basketball team joining? You got a
Yeah, I
whole
mean,
team of dudes.
we threw some ideas out there. We threw some ideas, but we said they need some girls around. We need to have somewhere some girls around. That'll get them out for sure. But we don't want to get them distracted because if it's girls around, that's all they're gonna be thinking about. So we're trying to figure
But
it
they
out.
got yeah. That's interesting, man. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Because I don't deal with I don't have no kids, man. I ain't finna be a 53-year-old man. No kids hanging around people, little kids. You know what I'm saying? That ain't a good look. I stay away from kids, girls
They
and
think you're the
boys.
granddaddy. They
No,
think I'm
they
the
think that
granddaddy
yeah.
sometimes.
If they need a granddaddy, they better get on the internet. Cause I stay away from kids, bro. For real. They jinx you, then you end up having one. I don't need no kids right now.
It's
If I
pros
give
and
me
cons.
yeah,
It's
bro.
pros and cons, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pros
No,
and
I'm just
cons.
teasing. I do want a family, but I want a
Right.
family. I don't want to be out here chasing down no baby mama, dealing with all that drama. So I've always
Yeah.
been very careful about accidentally getting somebody pregnant.
There you go.
There
There you go. All
I
right,
didn't
man.
need no issues, man. So we're
I
gonna
bet.
wrap this up, brother. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Been my pleasure, man. As
We're gonna have
always.
to catch up, catch up and have a great conversation offline.
For sure, man. We got each other's number, man. Whenever, just let me know.
All
I'll
right.
reach out to you. We set something up.
Okay.
All right,
Love,
Nuke.
dude. Yo.
Yo.